Commander Luke has been one of the best teams in LSTB since C3PO released, being easy to play with the least intensive modding involved to boot. But the sheer number of good characters he pulled in made it really hard to feel great about integrating him into your game plan when it means ruining a few other teams in the process. Well, in perfect pairing with my JTR guide, it's time to learn how to 4 out of 4 your combat missions without stealing C3PO from other teams. Let's jump in. Before we dive into the build, we gotta lay some ground rules. As long as you follow these tips, your win rate will spike significantly no matter what else you do here. First off, we've gotta talk about Luke for a second here, people. You've gotta stop taking CLS out of his defensive stance unless there's a very good reason to do so. Here's the difference. When you put CLS into offense stance, you get 1 extra Chewie and C3PO assist, 50% crit damage, and 50% crit chance, which he doesn't need, and a taunt ignore. What you lose is consistent counterattacks, which gives his team turn meter and calls C3PO to assist, turn meter gain whenever an ally gets hit, which gives him turns to give his team turn meter and get you more assists, 50% crit avoidance, 50% defense, and 100% tenacity, which by the way gives him regeneration when he resists. This means that anytime your team gets hit by an AoE, CLS gains an immediate 40% turn meter, and as luck would have it, LSTB does a lot of AoE damage. This isn't even an LSTB tip, this is just true in general. Most of the time my CLS stays parked in defense stance unless I'm in a situation that demands a taunt ignore. On that topic, we gotta talk about kill order. I see everyone going for the kill on B2 first, and this is the exact opposite of what we want to be doing. B2 is our secret 6th squad member, and killing him first wastes a valuable resource. Because we're leaving CLS parked in defense stance, he'll gain 40% turn meter per B2 AoE, and your whole team will counterattack him, causing even more turn meter gain and killing him for free. You're better off just pretending B2 doesn't exist. Sounds good? Sounds good. Let's get started. In terms of which zone to use him in, CLS is pretty comfortable with both zones, so it more depends on what your other team is more comfortable with. CLS has more favorable matchups in mid, and is better suited to deal with the faster enemy teams you'll find there, but if you're using a team like JTR, I'd say to bring CLS south. Because of the 2 AoE dispels CLS has, the team is much more capable of handling Geonosian Spy than other teams typically can. If you're running Mon Mothma, I'd send her south and use CLS mid. For the team comp, I decided to go with Old Ben, although I'm not entirely sure that he's a hard lock for the slot. I drafted him for Mind Tricks, which is an insanely high impact ability, but comes on an extremely long cooldown that isn't getting much shorter in this team. If you need Old Ben to serve as a Jedi elsewhere, I could see this slot being flexible, although I haven't tested other characters here personally. The build for this team isn't super intensive. Honestly, this team performs so well that you probably don't even need to remod them if your team has solid relic levels. But I haven't personally tried that yet, so try it at your own risk. For the topic of who gets guard, CLS is the superior choice in most cases due to the synergy of his turn meter gain and Chewie's assisting. We can ensure this happens by placing C3PO in front of Chewie in the team order. If your team is lacking gear and relic levels, giving C3PO guard might result in the team being able to slug it out more successfully, especially if you give CLS a crit avoidance arrow, but that won't necessarily help you win so much as lose more slowly. For my modding, I gave CLS some of the fastest mods I could, while keeping a speed arrow and health and protection primaries everywhere else. For Han's modding, I still keep the high damage focus, but add on a potency set to try to help his consistency in controlling important enemies like sniper droids. For C3PO, I gave a speed and potency focus, with his triangle being flexible between crit damage or bulk primaries. For Chewie, I ran health sets with protection primaries to maximize his staying power, since he doesn't have crit immunity. The last slot will depend on who you're bringing, but in my case, I brought Old Ben and gave him heavy speed and potency focus with a health triangle. For everyone on this team, the flow of whether you'll want to run tank primaries or damage primaries will depend largely on how many relic levels you have, and this is something you'll likely need to trial and error to tune for your team. Unlike the JTR guide, A lot of these stats are more personal preference than hard set requirements. Because we don't have C3PO providing exposed damage, we do need the team powerful enough to be able to provide killing power. Moving on to gameplay, there isn't some rigid turn order you need to follow here. I just wing it, focusing on juggling the major threats. I prefer to stun Magna Guard with Han's opening shot, just to enable characters like Chewie to be able to use their AoE without risking Magna taunting off of a counterattack. For Old Ben, the cooldown on Mind Tricks is long enough that you should save it for a wave that feels dangerous. In this example footage, I blew it on wave 1 after I had already pretty much won the fight, and then had to fight a Droideka and Sniper Droid next wave without it. Granted, this team is strong enough that it didn't matter in this example, but with a worse wave entry or some bad luck, it could make the difference. Han makes the ideal candidate to finish off each wave, since him shooting first at the start of the next wave deletes any preloaded Terminator he had anyway. The one big spot where you'll feel the biggest difference not having C3PO is going to be when you're up against Grievous. Here you can see the Phase 4 fight, which ended up feeling fairly messy and came close to going real south. It really came down to my mistake of spending CLS special here, when it was completely unnecessary, and as a result not having it here, resulting in us getting stuck on Magna Guard for a significant amount of time. As a small bonus side note, if you're in the Phase 4 combat missions, CLS is a fantastic character to use the LAAT ability with, since the number of debuffs it creates scales with It Binds All Things data to give the team a massive amount of turn meter. And yeah, there isn't really much else that needs to be said for this team. You've got a ton of control options, and the damage output felt fine enough, even without C3PO being there. Use your stuns, turn meter removal, and C3PO's blind to shut down any possible resistance, and victory is secured. I'll leave an unedited playthrough of the Phase 4 combat mission to give you an idea of how this team plays in the most stressful environment. Enjoy! I'm worried about Chewie health, I'm worried about C3PO health. Chewie can heal himself. C3PO is gonna be just kind of flailing this entire time. So same thing here, I think we're just gonna, not really bother hitting B2 at all. We'll just let him give us a bunch of turn meter. Sniper Droid stun probably has to be the way to go, even though we'll probably kill him pretty early here. Let's see. Are we just staying on Sniper Droid? It's weird because, like, without all this exposed damage, we really are just going to be trading blows a lot more often here. It's actually really possible that guarded C3PO would be better for this team's long-term sustain. We need to hit this Mind Tricks. I don't think we're going to be able to get Mind Tricks back up. I mean, without expose, we can kind of slow down, but... yeah, I still don't think we're ever really going for B2 here. Please leave him alone. He didn't sign up for this. And now... I mean, Old Ben is a tank, right? He's probably supposed to do that. Alright, that stun is super helpful here. Return cooldown not that long. Alright, he's blinded. But Old Ben's kind of just in no cooldown land, and he's gonna be there for pretty much the entire next wave, which is kind of issue number 1, let's say. I mean, we have blind available at least, but we're not going to be going to the wave. I mean, Luke could be fine. Our Terminator's okay. Hopefully Chewie... well, Chewie's not assisting here. Han is the perfect way to finish this wave. That's actually perfectly fine. Pretty much, if you get the choice, you always want to finish on Han. Alright, there is a Magna Guard. Chewie does have AoE too. We probably... I mean, would droid a sniper, though? I wonder if we should have just tried to get through last wave without using mind tricks. This would have been the waves to use mind tricks on. Is this old Ben Zeta? Did the taunt expire from last turn? And then re-continue in the next thing? I've never seen this happen before. Huh. See, let's get a pre-taunt now. What a world we live in. I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. Wait, but B2 dispelled. What? Is this a bug? Do we just have a perm taunt old Ben? I don't... I'm on a roller coaster right now. I mean, this will give us extra turn meter from binds all things. If we just land these debuffs on everyone, actually, kind of ridiculous. Yo, this could just be like 100% turn rate to the whole team. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. It's easy to feel like just gave himself 100% turn meter. Excuse me? That's a fairly lucky stun to land. That's a fairly unlucky it's a miss. Alright, I would like to not get Droidica blasted. Could not tell you enough. Yeah, okay. We're not doing that today. Okay. Okay. This is an amazing button. We like this button. CLS is now Gunship Commander. Chris and D. Alright, this is actually coming up. I mean, we're not really buffed, though. Whatever, we have, like... Yeah. Nothing to worry about here. Alright, Old Ben's back in the action. This is a really bad wave exit, though. If we don't have a B2 to work with next wave, that's not going to feel... amazing. Okay, we do. Not bad. Unfortunately, not having C3PO means we're really gonna feel back. Never doubted for a second. What does Kalani do again? Does she give them counterattacks? 50% counter chance. Is that bad? He's guarded. It's Luke. He's got guard. He's got learn control. He can take a little bit of heat. There's no mighty guard here. Look at this. CLS is just like a better Rex. What's not to like here? I mean, Old Ben can't taunt. I might regret this. I'm gonna just basic. Where's C3PO platoons? No, C3PO has to go with Padme for the... I basically cannot do the next mission unless I either gear a trash GR character or give Padme someone else. And so C3PO was the only one who seemed viable to give. And like, this is honestly going a lot better than I expected. It's just a question of mind tricks right now. I think we gotta save it for last wave. Which, like, Soul Bend turn kind of just sucks. And honestly, almost might be better just to hit B1. Okay. Kalani out of the picture. About the best old Ben basic is ever gonna get here. This still feels super easy. C3PO was absolutely overkill for this team. Like, pretty much almost all the damage that we've taken here is just B2 AoEs. That's it. We got a pretty nice entry into the last wave. GG Watt. That actually could be annoying. Probably didn't even need to use the Dispel there. I think we can save Mind Tricks for one more turn, or do we just want the turn meter? I kinda just want the turn meter. Such a good button. I am kind of regretting using that Luke special there. I think a basic was perfectly fine. This doesn't feel great. I do think spending this Dispel early does feel like it's costing us so far. Grievous, for the most part, can't be evaded, right? I don't know that this one's really doing anything for us here. If he's on basic, but I can't check. Perfect. We want Old Ben to go down. Old Ben's doing his best to not go down. No. We're paying you for this. Just do it. One more AoE. Come on. Just for old time's sake. Do it for me. Nope, that did. Okay, he doesn't have taunts. Or he doesn't have buff unit anymore, so we'll force him to do his job. I don't like it. Why are we not countering? See? Is it time? Do we put our old ways away and go into offense stance? I think we kind of have to. Percent HP damage, take me home. Okay. That was maybe a less than graceful ending. But otherwise, I think that felt okay.